Hi, my name is Emmett. I'm 29 and I'm from Montana.
My name is Hannah. I am 23 and I'm a Salvadorian.
I was very active as a child. My mother would say I was a bit overactive, actually.
I was active as a child. My stepdad, when I was 11 or 12, I told him I wanted to join the army. So he used to wake me up like at 4 o'clock in the morning and we go like run 5 miles before school. So
I did play sports. I played soccer, I wrestled, and I ran track. Um, Growing up, I also ran cross country, but wrestling was definitely my favorite sport. Um, if I could pick any sport to play for the rest of my life, it would be soccer.
my favorite sport was, ironically, I used to hate running, but I did enjoy like watching track meets and just running sports. I used to enjoy watching people.
I really do enjoy how active I am. Mostly it's weight training and strength training. The only thing I do wish I was a little bit better at or a little more consistent at was cardio. I just do not enjoy cardio that much.
I do enjoy the level of activity that I have now. I think at one point I was doing too much, and I've also found myself doing too little. And I think I'm finding a good balance now.
One day I looked at myself in the mirror and I just hated what I saw. As a kid, I was always very active, but as an adult, kind of fell off the wagon. And one day it just hit me that I needed to change. And the simplest way to do that was to just get active in the gym, get my fitness right, start with that, and then progressively build upon that.
My stepfather got me into fitness when I was 11 or 12 years old. So he was in the military, and he was the first person that I saw as a role model. And he loved working out, and obviously he was in the army. So he kind of trained me and introduced that life to me. And I used to hate it, but it was definitely, part of me now.
When we first started. Going to the gym did come naturally to me. There were a few more advanced techniques that I had to practice and really hone that craft to just make sure I wasn't going to hurt myself. But overall, the the core lifts and the simple lifts did come naturally to me.
Going to the gym did not come naturally to me at all. When I did work out with my dad or run, I used to run like super slow. So if I was running like a 14-minute mile, he's like, the slower you run, the longer we run. And we did. And I used to hate it. And he used to force me because I told him I wanted to join the army. And then over time, I grew to love it.
I don't typically follow fitness trends. Um, I do like to set my own schedule, or I'll take bits and pieces of fitness trends that I agree with, or I'll at least try them to see if they work with my body or not. But I very much like to write my own programs or do my own thing and just take little bits and pieces.
When it comes to fitness trends, I typically do not follow fitness trends, even though I did do or attempt the 75-hour challenge.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say I'm an 8 out of 10 when it comes to fitness plans. I'm very good at writing them, sticking to them, and staying committed to them.
On a scale 1 through 10, I feel like I'm very familiar. So I would say a 10 with workout plans because I used to have a trainer and I used to follow a plan. So.
Heard about the 75 hard challenge from coworkers. There were more than a few that were talking about 75 hard, that they had heard about it, they were trying it, they had completed it. And the more and more I heard about it, the more interested I got in it, because if one person says it, then I don't really pay that any mind. But if multiple people continue to talk about it, then it really starts to pique my interest.
I heard about the 75 hard challenge at work. Um, it was a conversation between me and two of my favorite coworkers. And one of them challenged us into it, and that's really how we got started.
My interest got piqued in the 75 hard challenge when I heard multiple people bring it up, talk about it, and say they were doing it, say that it helped them or it was helping them. And the more and more I heard those stories, the more and more it kind of resonated with me to at least look into it and see what it was all about.
My interest for the 75 hard challenge was piqued because I saw it as a way to challenge myself and grow in different aspects, because it was not just a physical challenge, it was a mental challenge, and like a habit challenge, if you will.
The most difficult thing that I could think of when looking up the 75 hard challenge was just the dieting and the time management portion. I'm not the best at dieting, and with the hours I work, time management is very, very difficult.
When I looked up the 75 hard challenge, in my opinion, at first, the hardest aspect I thought was going to be reading every day, because I thought maybe some days I might forget.
The overall goal for the 75 hard challenge was one, to complete it, but two, to just really enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you have a harder time completing it, because you're doing it in spite of yourself instead of doing it out of enjoyment.
Initially, when I started the challenge, the goals that I had in my mind really to complete it, um, to see a change in my body.
My favorite part of the challenge was both the in-gym workouts and the reading portions of them. I love being in the gym. I love trying new things, and condensing that down into a 45-minute workout was a challenge that I relished. And just reading for an hour out of the day, I enjoy reading very much, and the content you're asked to read in the 75 hard challenge was not something I normally would do, but I enjoyed that aspect a lot.
My favorite part of the challenge, I think, would be like the community aspect, because I wasn't doing it alone. And then it was also figuring out how to continue, and finding the strength to do so.
I did notice quite a few changes when I started and got into the 75 hard challenge. I got more able to break out my time, more structure, and think I wasn't just wasting time in the gym or just in life. I was actually utilizing my time healthily instead of just being lazy and scrolling around on my phone.
During the challenge, I did notice some internal changes. I realized that I needed to accept that it wasn't just a physical challenge and it was a mental challenge. And I didn't realize that it was more mental than physical when I first started. And it was something I grew to learn.
I did notice some external changes since I was more primarily focused in strength training and not a lot of cardio. I did notice that I lost a little bit of fat. I leaned down, and my cardiovascular definitely improved.
I noticed some external changes during the challenge. Definitely like physical wise, like just body changing. My approach to how I would complete things and habits definitely changed as well.
I did have quite a few issues dieting. Meal prep has never been a problem for me. However, following the rigid guidelines, um, counting macros, things like that, that is where I really struggle. And it did become a problem pretty quickly. Um, and I did not enjoy the dieting portion of 75 Hard Challenge.
When I started the challenge, I definitely had issues dieting. That was something I was never really specifically knowledgeable on. So I didn't know exactly how to go about dieting in a way that would be beneficial for me.
I did not complete the 75 Hard Challenge. The reason being, I work shift work, and just on the days that we work, I could not find the time to actually get 2 workouts in, read, diet, cook. Time management was just something that I could not get a hold of on the days we worked. And the dieting portion just really threw me for a loop once I really got into the challenge.
I did not complete the 75-hour challenge. I think I, at the time, was not ready for how much of a mental challenge it was going to be. It's really cute when it's a weekend, but you start to get 20 days in, and it's like it wasn't as sustainable as I thought it was going to be.
My main takeaways from the 75 Hard Challenge were just being cognizant of your time. There is a lot of time in the day, and you can utilize that instead of just wasting it doing nothing, being lazy or just idly scrolling on your phone. I took the structure and the regiment from the 75 Hard Challenge and just tried to implement that in my everyday life instead of just waking up at 10 o'clock in the afternoon, actually setting an alarm, waking up at 8. So I had 2 more hours in my day that I could be more productive. I could go to the gym, I could have a bit longer of a session, or I could do some cardio after I got done with my main lift. That was the biggest takeaway I got from 75.
My main takeaways from this challenge was that it's definitely more of a mental game than it is physical. And if I were to ever do this challenge, I think I would have a different approach to my diet, my workout, and I would have a better game plan in order to sustain it over the course of 75 days.
Would I restart the challenge? Yes, with a couple of differences. I know that I will not be able to succeed on shift work. So once I get a new schedule, absolutely I will restart.
I think I'll restart the challenge. I think now that I know what to expect and that I know like the certain challenges that I would come across, that it would be something I'd be willing to try again.
So my fitness goals moving forward are to keep building on my strength, be a better version than I was yesterday, and absolutely add to my cardiovascular strength instead of just ignoring it.
So I know I keep mentioning sustaining. My physical or exercise goals moving forward would be to find the best approach that I can maintain over the course of my life. I've found myself having sprouts where I'm super into it and I'm doing it every single day and I'm not really taking a break. And then I find myself in like lower points where I kind of just can go a month without doing anything. So my goal is just to find something that's easy, makes me feel good, and I'm more focused on performance rather than numbers like I was in powerlifting. And it would be something that I would want to maintain as I get older.
I do believe the average person can complete this challenge. However, they're going to need to understand that this is not something that you can just half bake. You cannot go in with only 50% commitment. You have to be 100% committed. And if you are not, you will fail.
I believe that anyone could do the 75 hard challenge. I think because it's not very specific to how you have to do it. The diet, the books, the workout, it's however you want to go about it. I think anybody could tailor it to themselves. And as long as they're ready for a mental challenge and keeping it and not breaking it just because you have an off day. If you're ready for that, I think anybody could do this.
My advice to someone who is going to try the 75 hard challenge is to really get involved and think about your time management. The gym will come. You will see results. You don't have to be a bodybuilder to do this. So the gym will be the easiest part. It will just be about maintaining your regiment and getting better about cooking.
My advice for beginners of the 75 hard challenge is to actually have a plan. I think I kind of went in with a relaxed mindset about the diet aspect, or just thinking I would walk for maybe like 45 minutes, and not really planning like the book either itself. I was just going to wing it. So I think if you're going to start this challenge, you should definitely have a concrete plan.